Hey everybody, Rocky Mountain Figures here. Today we are going to be reviewing the brand new, recently released Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Attack of the Clones Count Dooku figure. I recently just got this in the mail from Entertainment Earth. I should have an unboxing video where I showcase how and when I got this. If it's already up by the time I'm uploading this video, then make sure to go check out my channel. But anyway, we're going to get down to the review station and take a look at this guy. Okay, so before we get into the figure itself, I'm going to share with you guys the barcode or UPC, as this and Commander Bly are getting trickier and trickier to find every day. Like I said, I had to order mine on Entertainment Earth, so there is the UPC in case you need them. Now getting to the accessories of the figure. Doesn't come with much, but we'll showcase it anyway. Getting to the accessories of the figure, of course, Count Dooku comes with his red lightsaber, his curved red lightsaber right here, and I will say that the paintwork on this little thing is amazing. I love the silver contrasting with the black, and then of course you got the trigger right there. Then a really awesome addition to this lightsaber, of course, it can pop out. It has a nice accessory right here. This swooshing effect for the lightsaber pops in just fine, and it is definitely a great alternative to just the regular crimson blade. It definitely will stand out on the shelf with this piece right here. And if you just want the lightsaber holstered, he does have a port right there on his belt. This does have a little peg. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that peg obviously goes into that port, and there you go. You have his lightsaber stored away for some photography potential. Just getting into the figure itself finally, I will have to admit, this is definitely one of my new favorite Black Series from the Star Wars Black Series line. I love what they did with this figure when it came to the sculpt, the cape, and the articulation. Those three especially. Before we get a closer look, this cape is really nice. It's not, the flimsy cape, and I know it doesn't have any bendy wire, but it just, I don't know. There's something about this cape that's definitely better than most Hasbro capes. It's definitely better than just the stuck, fixed plastic cape that Marvel Legends likes to use for sure. And you can fold it over his shoulders if you kind of want it to have like a windswept look, and it will kind of stay there. Like I'm shaking it just a little bit, it's staying, and it just kind of gives him a little bit more of a menacing appearance to him. I don't know. I just really like how that looks. Of course, if you want to get out of the way for some saber fighting, you can right there. It looks very nice. So now, speaking about very nice, let's talk about this head sculpt and get a closer look at this figure. Taking a look at this Christopher Lee Count Dooku head right here. This is so phenomenal, man. I mean, wow. The details are just stellar, and I love this a lot. It definitely looks like Count Dooku from the second and third film from the Skywalker saga. Here is the hair sculpt, and it definitely looks very nice. Maybe just a little bit more wash would have brought out some more details, but I think it looks okay. Looks good enough. Taking a look at the rest of the figure, here he is, and it definitely looks like Count Dooku. Definitely has a better paint job than the SH Figure Arts, and it just looks very, very nice overall. I really do like it. Here's the legs. Here's the back of the figure. As you see, it does have butterfly joints. Hey everybody, so this is going to be an intermission bit. I'm going to ask a couple questions from my IG story that I left up about a couple days ago before this review. So let's get to it. Okay, first question by... Oh, I know who this is. Stop motion E, and then it cuts off right there. But you know who you are. Which Toy Biz figure is your favorite, or which one are you looking for? Okay, so pretty much like two questions. Which Toy Biz figure is your favorite? I gotta admit, man, the Galactus and Sentinel that I got recently, those are probably my favorites right now in terms of Toy Biz. But which ones am I looking for? I gotta be honest, I'm not really looking for any other Toy Biz figures. Maybe that Giant Man Bath, that would look great with the Avengers shelf. Next question, which X-Men characters do you think should be in the Marvel Legends collection? I'm thinking Banshee or Toad. And last question, which is actually a pretty good question right here. It is, which is your favorite villain in Marvel history? This is from Mickey the Mouse. Wow, that's actually a pretty good question, not gonna lie. My favorite villain of all time is Darth Vader. But of course, that's not Marvel. I just wanted to throw that out there because he's my favorite. You know what? I remember now. Venom. Venom from the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. That is my favorite. I've always loved Venom and Spider-Man fighting. Of course, Spider-Man is my favorite hero. And the one that stood out to me the most when I was a little kid was Venom. For a long time when I was young and didn't fully understand what was a good movie, Spider-Man 3 was always my favorite just because of Venom. So there you have it right there. Let's get back to the video. When it comes to the articulation, this figure has a really good setup. This is probably the deciding factor on whether or not you should buy it, and the answer of course is yes. So here is the neck right there. It can move that far, it can move down. It does move side to side, and it does have good head tilt. His arms can move up about that high, they can move down, and of course it can do a 360. With the help of the butterfly joints, he can move his hand that much forward and that much backwards right there. He does rotate at the elbow, and of course there's a single jointed hinge that definitely bends more than 90 degrees, which is very impressive. This hand can hinge up and down. It is a little bit hindered by the sleeve right there, but still can get the hinge and it moves side to side, whereas the other hand actually has a hinge that moves side to side, and it can rotate side to side as well. It doesn't really get that much crunch right there, but I know for sure he can get a little bit of back. There you go. He is an old man after all. His legs move up about that far. They move back just a little bit. This skirt piece does not hinder his leg movement at all. In fact, he can pretty much almost do the splits. Ooh, that was pretty close. He has a single jointed knee that actually gets a pretty good bend. And of course his feet are on a hinge so they can move up and down. He can also rock the ankles as well. So really good articulation setup right there. As you can see right here, I got him in a pretty dynamic pose, and he stands really well, especially on this more rocky, unlevel terrain. So just the amount of articulation that they put in this figure, I am pleased. Measuring how this guy stands, this Dark Lord of the Sith stands right under 6.5 inches. Now let's get to some comparisons. So first up for comparisons, here is the Count Dooku figure next to another Sith apprentice of Palpatine, Darth Maul, and the Revenge of the Sith Anakin figure from the Archive Wave. Here are some of my other favorite Black Series figures from Hasbro. Here he is next to the Darth Vader and Mandalorian figures. And lastly, for comparisons, here is a Count Dooku figure next to the Hoth Rebel Soldier and a Loki figure from Marvel Legends. Getting into my quick thoughts on this figure, I really like this figure, man. I've been highly anticipating this figure ever since its release, and I've been trying to find it everywhere in my area, and I couldn't find it. And like I said before, I ended up ordering it on Entertainment Earth, and the shipping was pretty quick and fast. So thank you, Entertainment Earth, for bringing this figure upon me. And of course, I really love the addition of this saber accessory. This is definitely a good step in the right direction for the Hasbro Black Series line. I also love this figure's paint and the sculpt on the head, and of course the articulation that this figure has. That is pretty much going to be the end of this review. I would recommend this figure on a scale of 1 to 5 of 5, especially if you're a big Star Wars fan or a prequel fan like myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out my eBay, OfferUp, and Instagram. Links for all three of those sites in the description below. And without further ado, I'll see you guys next time.